In the previous lecture, we created a personality.html page and a personality.php page, and using the get method, we send some information such as the type of major you were in school, or whether or not you owned a bird feeder gun, or what kind of things you liked on your pizza, as well as your name. We sent all that to a page called personality.php using the get method. But we're going to change all that today. We're going to go back to the personality.html and rename it postpersonality.html. And while we're at it, we're going to take the personality.php and rename it postpersonality. Because this time what we're going to do is we're going to change the way this works. First of all, back in the postpersonality.html, we're going to change the action now to that new file name, postpersonality.php. And the other more important thing that we're going to do is we're going to change the methods of post. Now there's two methods, the get method, which sends variables as part of the URL, or the post method that sends them silently. Why would you want to send your data silently? Well, what if you had a secret password you wanted entered? Now this looks very much like an input type equals text, except that it's input type equals password. Same thing, name equals p-word. In this case, I put a size of 10 just so it's this little smaller box. And that's one of the things that I wanted to add to the page. Down the bottom, I'm also going to ask a question. What is your philosophy of life? But there, it could be a bit of a long run-on sentence, more or several sentences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a text area. Now that text area needs a name like philosophy, and a rows equals 10, columns equals 50, just so it's a nice sized box. And then I'm going to go over to the postpersonality.php, and I've got to do a couple things. First of all, wherever it had a $_get, I'm going to replace that with $_post, because it's a different type of variable, sent a different method. Then I'm going to put in something like, for instance, of a little if-then statement here. If your $_post p-word is equal, that's the double equal sign, fluffy. So if it's equal to fluffy, I could say something like, for instance, you should consider a stronger password, such as maybe Fluffy Jr. Well, that's one thing I could do, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to change that double equals to an exclamation point equal. So in other words, if post password is not equal to Fluffy, then I'm going to say, you do not have permission to view this page, and I'm going to exit the program. I'm going to terminate it right then and there. So if you don't enter the secret password, you don't get the information. Now, down the bottom, I'll take that post philosophy, and I'm going to just put it inside of a sentence. So I've got the phrase, so your philosophy of life is, and then a period, that means concatenate, with the post philosophy variable, and then another period and concatenate with a question mark inside of quotes. I wouldn't even call that a philosophy of the weekend. So how's this going to work? Well, I put it up on the server, and I take a look at it. I can see the secret password area as well as the philosophy area have been added to my screen. And I fill in some information, my name. I put in the password Fluffy to make sure this thing works. I choose a major. I don't own a bird feeder gun, and I got a different type of pizza, and I got a philosophy of life there that's worth making a note of. Not for the final exam, but for life. And then I click on Learn Something About Yourself, and what do I find? Hello, Frank, so college one big party for you, eh? And so on and so forth. Now the important thing about this is looking at the URL, you'll find there are no variables up there. They've been sent silently to this page. And that's what post variables are all about.